Just to go off, is that an option? Like, could we just fix the
Yes.
middle,
Yes.
which is really the safety issue?
We could ask Public Works to look at
Well,
that. We could ask Public Works to look at that.
okay,
If that's the direction.
We can change the scope of that.
right, and which would.
You could take the bricks out and just sidewalk it, just, I mean, it's terrible.
Yes, I would agree, the middle is pretty rough.
Thank you. Okay, so my two comments, to make them short, is I agree we need to put the street LED lighting in. It was in for many, many years, and we got more efficiencies here. You know, we get payback in 6 years, which is great that we waited. And so I don't know that, Treasurer Partner, since you spoke for it, I don't know what year. I mean, if you just want to put the year I had, whatever year makes sense based on our debt load would probably be fine with me. But definitely within the next, I'd say 5 years. Hubbard Park parking lot reconstruction, I'm with the group here, and I think just like we did Capitol Drive, take those pavers out and let us know the cost. And it'd come out of the parking utility? No, it would come out of Mark.
Would the board like to keep the Hubbard Park parking lot reconstruction concept alive for future discussion? Even if the general direction for now?
Does it have to be
Is it just for the
reconstructed one day? How, so when you provide that schedule, I think it'll really help us.
Well,
Because
again, reconstruction is a much broader effort than just replacing the surface from that particular.
So the standard, I did download them from the state website, from the state, for standards of when to reconstruct parking lots, just because I haven't gotten that information. But it does say after 15 years, an asphalt parking lot should be reconstructed or resurfaced. So I think it might help just to see, based on some standard, doesn't have to be that one, but.
Or
when
maybe
that
should that be just part of that other list of all of our parking lots?
Yeah,
After we do the meeting?
yeah, because then, I don't know, that's, Trustee McKay?
I just want to make the point, because I think it's really important to keep it in mind, that, I mean, part of it is that, which you talk about, which is parking lot management and the, the criteria for that. But what's unique about that parking lot is in the last 5 years even, 2 major businesses have gone into that park that have increased, or 3. We have Summer Sounds concerts that increase the traffic. We have weddings year-round that increase the traffic to that park, and the beer garden. So I think looking at that as an opportunity, increases again, it's not an urgent need from a reconstruction, from an infrastructure, but as far as meeting the demand, if we can put more parking spaces there, that's a benefit to the, and it's responding to the fact that that park is so much more utilized than it was. So that's the only thing. I'm not saying that that's why we should do it, but I think that's why we might take it out of that schedule and look at it a little differently.
Trustee Martin?
Just to kind of clarify my position a little bit too, I just wanted to, the LED lighting, just to take a direction, I'm very much in support of that. I think that's a priority. As for Hubbard Park, I think the urgent priority is replacing that center section. Just to be very clear that I think that's something that probably needs to be done. It's deteriorating. You heard the words in the report that the village has published. So I think that we need to focus on that as a priority as well.
Trustee Martin?
I have a couple on LED lighting. I'm concerned about the brightness of those lights, and there have been complaints from residents on Roseland Drive about how bright they are. So I don't know if there's options to make it a more yellow light or to change the character of the LED lights, or if there's not. I just would like more information on that and the brightness of it. And on Hubbard, I know we probably could get more spaces, but the parking lot, I think, fits in with the whole nature of the site, and it just has an old-fashioned, quaint, which is the word people love to use about Shorewood. So I think it would be too bad if we, end up with a generic, mall-like parking lot outside of Hubbard, which is this lovely, older, very Shorewood facility. So I just want to throw that in there when we're talking about that parking lot.
That your point about the brightness of the LED lights is really valid, and something that I think that there is like the wattage, the ability to match the wattage. I think that that's something that we just need to be aware of and looking for, as it sounds like we're all sort of in agreement with the LED lights is moving forward, that we're just making sure that the wattage is comparable to what the wattages are now.
Yeah, so we just, moving forward, because we have more on this list, to sum it up, street lighting conversion, I haven't heard anybody say no. I don't know that anyone's identified an exact year, but I think the administration, based on the numbers of our debt load, would be in a better position to make that recommendation. Okay, and then, Mark,
Would you like us to schedule that for 2020 so we can get the ball rolling on getting some more information, developing firmer cost? I'll put a placeholder amount in there.
as long as 2020, again, so as long as that, what you usually do as administration is you'll push out, or at least that's what the village administrator used to push out based on what the end number is scheduled for that year. So if you feel 2020 is good, I'm fine with that too.
Well, if I could give you just a little more feedback, from a strictly numerical basis, the village is not constrained with debt capacity. So it really becomes a matter of when you want it to get done, and then we would proceed accordingly, notwithstanding some override. I mean, if the decision of the board was to do everything here next, we'd have to have some implementation discussions. But I'm really hopeful that your guidance on to, relatively speaking, where to slot that in. And then the debt loads will be developed and be reflected in the final draft of the plan. And the next year, if you find that to be a little too steep, we can have this discussion again.
Exactly, because until you put it in, you don't know what your debt service is going to be for the following years, right?
Especially since we've got a number of items that
This
we're
might be
hopefully
too
gonna
small. This one might be too small, and so it doesn't have a real impact. But for some of these things that are larger, you want to push it off because you need your debt load not because we have a capacity issue, but because we have a debt service payment issue, or at least to keep within a tax rate. Yes.
Sorry. I hear you both. I think you guys are making great progress in the evaluation of some of these items, and I'd really like to get more of your thought process and where you stand on some of them. Because Hubbard was a big red flag for me, because I'd never heard anyone talk about it until I saw it in this plan. Right? So that question that you and Mark are talking about, you guys will need to come back to as a group, and it will not be just based on administrative direction, because there's a value component as well, but we want to partner with you on that. So thank you. I just wanted to thank you guys for counting that point. Do you guys want to start with the next two?
Yes.
You want to go two by two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one's DPW improvements. They were in the plan, they were taken out. I understand the explanation, which was the the recommendations, try to think of this as a whole, not to just piecemeal it out. But the retaining wall, going off of what Trustee Menta reading the plan, it says it's a severe safety issue. So that's a red flag for me. Oh, yes.
Well, and if someone wants to jump in, I just wanted to share with you what we're.
I'll just jump in and agree with that. I mean, I think the things that are obviously safety issues and deteriorating badly, we just need to put in the plan and do. I think other than that, we have some larger picture items to work through before we budget out what we want to do here and how we want to kind of approach DPW services. But again, I think there's some stuff in here where we just have to get it done. So I think that needs to be rolled up into the long-range plan.
So the safety issues that are being talked about for the wall. So I'm getting more familiar with the infamous wall every day, and you're correct, President Rosick, the utilities are a big function of what needs to get relocated in order to do that reconstruction. When initially talking with the staff about that, there was concerns about whether the report generated before was specific enough to account for all of the impacts required with that construction. If you guys have ever been back there, if you haven't, I'm happy to go back there with you. We talked about it one day in a meeting, one of the guys saw me behind one of the buildings, looking at this wall, but it affects just a significant number of private property owners. And to your point, I think that it does need to be addressed, but I think we should look at that scope a little bit more and dive in. It's been a little while since it has been looked at.
But does it need to get done? I think what Trustee Warren and I have been saying is, does it need to be done as a safe, if we've been told for, I don't know, I've been on board for 3 years, it's a safety issue, it's a safety hazard, and then when is the proper time to, I don't, it doesn't need to be done within the life of this plan? Something it doesn't need to be addressed in your, Mark?
Well, I'd say certainly it's something you want to take care of sooner rather than later. The observation I would make though is the retaining wall repair in itself is not a bondable issue. That would be maintenance, that would be an annual budget. And then maybe that is the first step, is to get a good perimeter on that site so that it builds for future discussions on what needs to be done, and that's not an issue. So to that end, I'm not sure if I would advocate considering adding that to the 2019 budget, but certainly that could be added to the list of projects to be defined for perhaps the 2020 annual budget.
So we can take it off this list?
Well, again, DPW facilities is a little broader heading, but that particular line item, I think, does stand alone.
But with about utility, it's,
Well, the utility relocates is so that construction equipment can get through there and do all the other work.
I'm saying, is that bondable? I just don't, it's on the list.
Well, it depends if it's part of a facilities plan.
So if it's
And whether or
separate,
not it houses public works equipment, there's a lot of, a lot of caveats to that when you start talking about replacing municipal facilities. Police facilities, library facilities are exempt from those.
so you'll let us know? So we can move on? You'll let us know if we need to put it in operating?
What I hear
Yeah.
What I hear is that, and what's been practiced is anytime that there is sort of something that's maintenance versus replacement, staff has presented us with, you can handle it this way as maintenance, and then it is operational. It does relate to other things around it because everything is aging all the time. And so if you were to look at the whole, there's opportunity and value looking at the whole project, and we just want you to have this information, that this is another way to look at it, so that when we come back to you and say, oh, there's also this, this, and this, you don't say, hey, you never told us that, we would have handled it this way. And not that anybody would do that, but that's my impression of how we've had these discussions. So that's why it's like, there is this scope here. It doesn't mean that this is what we need, the only way to approach it. We can pull some out. That does then affect whether it's bondable or not. I would say we need more information on the retaining wall if we were to address it as a maintenance issue versus replacement, and then the scope of this to work out those assumptions that are questionable. And I would think we would want that information in the next year in preparation for our next long-range financial plan in 2020.
You can do that.
I don't know how the rest of the board feels on that, because that is a demand on staff to get that information.
Yes.
Would the body like me to schedule a $5 million placeholder anywhere in this plan for these potential costs?
Are we serious here? I think Trustee Warren just said that anything that's a safety hazard should be put in, but since it would be operational, I'm assuming that,
When I'm talking about the identified need of replacing the entire site, the $5 million.
Are you talking about the-
Agreed.
but the
On
only
my-
other thing here is.
On my list.
Is that what the plan
It says
said?
1.6.
So the plan includes nothing. The question is, do we want to put in the 5 million just to encompass everything?
But there's only two other things and they add up to 1.5.
1.6, like says.
Your memo?
I'm working off of my memo, which I pulled from the facilities plan, and appendices.
That says 1.6.
May 11th, 2016, long-range sample improvement, 1.6.
That is, again, a partial list of the overall project, which is why I wanted to refrain the discussion for you, because otherwise you're dropping 1.6 million in without appreciation for that leads into a $5 million project.
I think we need to have a presentation and a better understanding of everything. So that will come hopefully in the next few months. But I guess the question is, what do we put in the long-range financial plan? And I agree with Trustee Warren, if it's a safety issue, we should do it. However, now you're saying if that would be maintenance, so it shouldn't be in here. I'm fine with having it at nothing for right now.
Yep, except the salt shed. I do feel that you started the conversation, and I just want to make sure, saying that was the biggest need.
Yeah.
And so put it in. I mean, if it has, if it's a big
And that is a
need,
borrowing, that's bondable.
is it?
That would be possible because it houses materials used on road services.
So then,
Again, this stuff is probably written
Well,
back in
okay,
the
the salt
thirties.
shed, but the salt shed was originally 200, and when it got taken out, or when we decided not to go forward with it, one of the reasons was that when we came out to bid, it was actually more like $400,000. That's what I recall. I recall $400,000 being the number that was, and that's why Leanne backed off it. I mean, I don't know why we would put in something that Leanne is saying is not pushing for right now. But anyway, I'd rather finish this discussion and move on to police because I have to go. So whatever, I'm okay with whatever, let's just go. I don't
Okay,
care anymore.
moving on.